Islamic microfinance is becoming an increasingly popular mechanism for poverty alleviation, especially for developing countries around the world. This microfinance service adheres to the principles of Islam as a form of social responsibility. Yona Islamic Microfinance is the Islamic microfinance of choice in the Gambia, trustworthy and reliable. At Yona Islamic Microfinance, we provide savings products, current accounts, financing products in conformity with Islam. In addition, Yona Islamic Microfinance also offers local and international remittances, takaful fund, management of zakat, management of awqaf, trading and investment, and building of strategic partnerships to bring financial services to the doorstep of the poor with donor projects, madrasas, youth organizations, women groups, and farmer organizations. Make a choice with Yona Islamic Microfinance today. For more information on Yona Islamic Microfinance, call 377-2151 or 9832-151 or visit Yona head office at Tipa Garage, Bakote, or visit any Yona branch located countrywide near you.
Good morning, everyone present here. I think, we apologize sincerely for the late start of this program. I think it's not intentional. Actually, people have different schedules, and there are collusions with other programs. But some people were seated, since in the morning. So we will not afford to keep them waiting. They have other engagements. So actually, we wish to start at the soonest possible time. Yeah, hence we don't want to keep people too long here. Once again, we reiterate your presence here, and we deeply apologize for the late start. Actually, like I said initially, these things are not meant to be like that, but it's program-wise. This is how sometimes you are faced with some of these things. So actually, I'm going by the agenda. I think we want to welcome all invited participants, senior government officials, people from respective organizations, directors, and all other students, social workers, and all other protocol respectfully observed. Today, we gather here to commemorate the International Day of Social Workers. This is an annual event where social workers around the globe converge to discuss pertinent issues relating to their work and celebrate, take stock and reflect on what they do, what are some of the issues that is hindering their practice, or some of the things that is affecting what they are doing in their respective places. So the Gambia joined the rest of the world to commemorate this day. Globally, the theme for this year is building a new eco-social world, leaving no one behind. So you look at the team, it's a very inclusive team. Globally, the social workers around the globe would commemorate this day in different ways, in different styles. So the Gambia also look at the team and also come up with a local team, trying to say promoting social inclusion to enhance peaceful coexistence and national development. So reflecting on the team, the Gambia also, the social workers thought it wise that at this crucial time of the Gambia current situations, we feel we need to have an inclusive society, an inclusive Gambia, where everybody would come together, partake in issues affecting their lives. So that prompted this event, and for that reason, we invited several dignitaries to join us so that we commemorate this day, reflect on the past years, how it has been going, how social workers in different organizations or institutions are doing their work, so on and so forth. So basically, the day is set aside to commemorate the gains and reflect on the challenges, and also see how you can galvanize support with other partners, government, other stakeholders, so that you can lobby for the betterment of everybody. Because social work, as we know, is there to bring people together, make sure everyone in a society, especially those that are vulnerable, are well cared for, are represented, their rights and voices are heard, their issues are addressed. So that is essentially what social workers have been doing for the past years in their different corners, despite some of the challenges they are going through. So this day, just to set a highlight of what the day, signifies. An association of social workers in the Gambia has also been in existence for the past years. We are legally registered. We've been in existence since 2007 as a non-charitable, non-political, non-religious organization set forth to bring social workers together, to make sure that we actualize our objectives. Key among that is to come together to provide complementary basic social services to the vulnerable groups and communities whose rights have been infringed. Also to cooperate with government and other agencies, development partners, and other stakeholders to raise public awareness of the rights and responsibilities of the vulnerable groups and the communities, such as women and children, to participate in voluntary services and advocacy meant to reduce and eliminate social problems. So essentially, this is the fundamentals of why TASWI, is in existence, is trying to bring social workers under one umbrella to make sure the Gambia also align itself to other international standards. So we've been going through a lot of changes and transmission from one stage to the other, because the organization exists way back 2007. Other people in the executives have done their part, and leave. Others picked up. Others, we are also trying to inspire other young ones that are currently going to social work institutions to receive the training. One like SOS, Regional Mother Adult Training Center, the Stratford. These are places that were offering social work, trainings. And even the University of the Gambia used to host the program some years back. So it's a very good program. And then we have a lot of trained social work graduates around the country that are making effort in their own little ways to make sure that people are aware of what is happening within their environment, conscious of their rights, stand for the rights of the vulnerable people, women and children, also raise their voice to make sure the society is fit for all of us. Because any given society, there are bound to be issues, there are bound to be social problems here and there. So social workers are on their foot, on their toes, day in, day out, to make sure people are attended, the people that are even mostly forgotten in societies are listened to. They come to their plight, listen to them, engage with them, try to build something positive out of them so that they can be their own self to be able to, fit well in society. So if you look at the society, there are a lot of mishaps, there are a lot of issues affecting, the vulnerable groups. So social workers are tasked, to do that. That is all the motive why we gathered here today to commemorate this day. That is just an highlight. Going proper into the agenda proper, we would have speakers coming from to make statement, and then we will have actually from few remarks from other key dignitaries present here, and at least to give their words of wisdom or impression. We also have students who is coming to make give us a poem, and actually we would also go into other discussions as we move forward, because the program proper has been alternated, because we have other speakers that we are expecting, but unfortunately we are not able to receive them at this juncture. So that would have a slight changes on our program, but yet still we are all here, feel relaxed, and then be part of this commemoration. Everyone is highly welcome, and then from this juncture, we wish to we have the honor to call President of the Association of Social Workers in the Gambia, Mr. Basamba, to give a statement on the demand and challenges of social workers in the Gambia. Mr. Basamba, you are highly welcome.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Before I go straight to my speech, I would like to thank everybody present here today. Unfortunately, the event was not supposed to be in this manner, but this is Gambia. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, students, association members, and all protocols respectfully observed. International Social Work is commemorated annually every Tuesday of March. World Social Work Day enforces the idea that we are all connected and our future depends on every person's involvement in building a socially equitable future. The commemoration of this is set aside to reflect on the achievements and the contribution of social workers and partner organizations and those who care about the plight of vulnerable people in our society. This year's theme is co-building a new eco-social world, leaving no one behind. The theme was established to create new global values, policies, and practices that develop trust, security, and confidence, and to enable all to have their dignity respected. The lack of professionally trained social workers is a major constraint on the development and delivery of social work services in the Gambia. In part, this problem can be attributed to the limited and often inadequate levels of financial support available for social welfare programs. However, while social work professionals and socially policymakers work towards increasing funds available, the social work profession itself continues to be perceived by many, including those on other professions, as low down on the list of priorities for development. A lack of awareness of the general nature and specific applications of social work leads to its being seen as, at best, outside of the top priorities of food security, health, and education, and at worst, irrelevant in the context of a developing African country. These two methods below played an important role and will continue to help us change the face of social work in the Gambia. One, creation of certificate and diploma program at SOS and University of the Gambia, but the University of the Gambia program phased out since 2013, and until today, the program could not be reintroduced. Two, after the graduation of the pioneers of the program in 2007, which I was part of, the graduates from the association of the graduates from SOS formed the Association of Social Workers in the Gambia. This association was formally registered with the Gambia government in 2009, and we have been celebrating all the previous social work until COVID took over the world. In the drive to work with IFSW, International Federation of Social Workers, which is the umbrella body of social workers in the whole world, the association seeks registration with the International Federation for the past 13 years, but only got accepted last year, thanks to the hard work of the association members and my leadership. Today, we are the newest member of the International Federation of Social Workers. And because of this, we seek partnership from all of you present here for capacity building and to work together to address the unprecedented complex social problems in our society. The famous American philosopher Atlas, writing on social work education in Africa, points out that whilst professional training in social work is now well established in the curricula of most African universities, most social work programs leave much to be desired, especially in terms of their relevance to the African situation. He refers to these curricula as being conservative and underdeveloped. Adding to this, I note the Gambia is yet to come with a curriculum for the social work program at bachelor's level. Given the above, the need for the Gambia to escape the conventional method of social work practices is most needed. The disorganization of the educational institutes' mode of operation needs some amendment. I use this opportunity to seek for the support of all of you, government agents here present, UN agencies, institutions, organizations, associations, to help change the face of social work in the Gambia. On my own behalf, the President of the Association of Social Workers in the Gambia, and on behalf of the association members, we seek support from all of you to confront and collaborate and confront different issues that we're dealing with as a society in the Gambia. I will further enlighten a lot of you about the work of social workers in the Gambia. Social workers contributed to the establishment of a special ministry called the Ministry of Women, Gender and Children because of the unprecedented rise of social problems in the Gambia. And that is why today most of those people that work in the Department of Social Welfare are trained social workers from the program at SOS and the University of the Gambia. Social workers are also contributing to the work of Tanka Tanka, which is the only mentally ill facility in the Gambia. Social workers are the ones working on child welfare issues, juvenile delinquencies and other issues in this country, broken homes. Social workers are the ones also responsible for orphans in this country. So the work of social workers is so relevant that most of us sometimes overlook, and we even wonder and ask ourselves, who are social workers in the country? What is social work? What are the work of social work? On our everyday lives, social workers impact you directly or indirectly. So we would like to use this opportunity to tell every Gambian, the government, to step up and support social workers in this country. We need support to build the capacity of our association members. We're working on to license. We have been mandated by International Federation of Social Workers, which is one of the requirements to be a member, to license everybody. It's just like how nurses are licensed to practice, how doctors are licensed to practice. It's the same way that we have to deal with social issues. Not everybody can handle social issues. We have a community level. We're all social workers at community level in the family. But to exercise or to partake in social work professionally, you must go through some training. And that's what most of our members have gone through. And today, we are proud to say that we are serving in most of the agencies, most of the association, most of the government institutions, we are serving as social workers. But we need more support. We need NGOs to come and collaborate with social workers to confront the complex social issues we are facing as a country. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. I think we all had that powerful statement by the presidents of the Association of Social Workers. He has hammered social work, the work of social workers. The Association of Social Workers have been in existence in many years and couldn't get registered with International Federation of Social Workers, but under his dynamic leadership with the current executive, this has come true. Actually, this is a significant achievement. Social workers in the Gambia are also part of the International Federation of Social Workers. At least a lot need to come. We want to harmonize the practice with standard and make sure Gambia is also setting, stage for social workers to be recognized, and the work of social workers would be, seen and the importance by the society, by stakeholders, by employers of these social workers. It's one thing to be a social worker, to be trained. It's another thing you are recognized. It's another thing, your values, your profession is being popularized, and everybody is aware of what we are doing. So all the more, Basamba has touched on all that. This program existed in the University of the Gambia sometimes back. The university was offering social work diploma, but the program has phased out. Currently, SOS Regional Mothers Adult Training Center is still offering both certificate and diploma program in social work. Other training institutes are also in the momentum, like Stratford. So it's another thing to have a degree, Basamba mentioned in his speech. Is very important because social workers deals with social issues. So you need to have the theoretical knowledge, the ethics, the values, the principles, governing to what it calls to be a social worker. Not every Tom, Dick, and Harry could say, I'm a social worker, I'm doing social work, but it's good you are trained, you have the values, you have all what it takes, and our goal, our next agenda is to be a profession that is lancing, and then that takes a lot of lobbying and a lot of policy influence and so on. But we have collaborators. We're collaborating with Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, other stakeholders, other important organizations and government and the UN agencies. So they all notice that we are in existence. So this is the next step the Gambia Association of Social Workers are moving towards. So thank you so much, Basamba. I think you've already highlighted, why social workers are important, why they need to be celebrated, why do we need to reflect on the profession. So that's Basamba's speech. I think we all heard about it. So going by the agenda, can we welcome others that are just arriving? I think the program has started. Take a seat and then we can proceed. From this juncture, hence is about celebrating Social Workers Day. It's also important to invite and call one of the ex-students of Social Workers Association in the Gambia. One of the ex-students, part of this association, studied social work at the SOS Regional Mothers and Adult Training, Khadijatu Koli, to come forward and give us a very powerful poem she has. So I wouldn't want to unveil the poem. She is coming. Khadijatu, you are highly welcome.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My fellow students, all protocols duly and respectfully observed. I am Khadijatu Koli. I'm here to read a poem entitled A Reflective Poem of Being a Social Worker. Being a social worker means you have chosen a vocation. You will never be bored. You will always be frustrated. You will be surrounded by challenges, so much to do and in so little time. You will carry immense responsibility and very little authority. You will step into people's lives and you will make a difference. Some will bless you, some will curse you. You will see people at their worst and at their best. You will never cease to be amazed at people's capacity for love, courage, and endurance. You will see life begin and life end. You will be surrounded by nature's blessing. You will experience a resounding victory and devastating failures. You will cry a lot in agony, and you will laugh in satisfaction. Finally, you will know what it is to be human and humane. I thank you all.
So much, Khadijatu, for that very insightful poem. I think we all have heard about the poem. He reflected on why it is important to be a social worker. I think we all heard about it. The poem is very inspiring. This gives emphasis to, the tax and the burdens that lies on social workers to ensure that everyone is happy. We bring smiles on the faces of people who are really, at the other side of the society. I think social work is all about that. Seeing service users, seeing your clients, seeing other people who are living in social problems, in poverty, in issues of conflict, in issues of other social relations, you are able to impact on their life. So I think Khadija has just reflected on that poem. I think it's something very, very important. Hence, we are marking the commemoration of social workers. I think this is a food for thought that every one of us could know social workers, why they are very significant in what they do in our societies. So thank you so much, Khadijatu, for making that statement, for that poem. I think you all enjoy the poem as we move. From now, we want to invite this lady from Fantanka. I think it's a prompt call. Actually, Fantanka is supposed to give us a statement pertaining to what they do and also the role of social workers in psychosocial care or psychosocial approach. We invited Madam Maria Mojobate. You are highly welcome.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am grateful to have this opportunity to talk to these brilliant minds in front of me. Yes, my name is Maria Mojobate. I am the founder and CEO of an organization called Fantanka. Fantanka, we promote good sexual and reproductive health and address sexual and gender-based violence, as well as provide mental health and psychosocial support to victims of human rights violations. So, of course, we work as social service providers. And my gentleman here in front of me would say a little bit about some of the things we have done, I'm sure. Today, we would like to recognize social service workers. We would like to, the reason why I'm saying social service workers is because some people are not professional social workers, but they do social services. Do you understand? Whether or not we qualified social workers, we do a lot of social services, and I want to recognize those people as well. So we come to the social workers themselves. I would like to give a particular recognition to the brilliant social workers in the Gambia, many of whom would go out of their way doing this job because they love it with little pay. A lot of us are going into this job because it is a passion. It is not something that we are getting paid for. It requires 24-hour services. Sometimes you're in bed, you get that phone call, you have to get up. You're not thinking that I am getting paid X amount and I should not be out on the road. Sometimes late in the night, 2 o'clock, you're thinking, you're in a dilemma. What do I do? Do I get out or do I continue sleeping, like many other people would be doing? So social service or social workers are like our safe havens. They are people we go to. So it's important to recognize them and say a big thank you to them. They are people who are strengthening and holding our societies together. They are people who are encouraging the younger people to become who they are, to achieve certain goals, to help younger people to be able to talk, to help vulnerable groups, marginalized groups, to be able to achieve their potentials. So we recognize you and we say thank you to you people. There should be more recognition for the work we do, especially with the recognition for psychosocial support now. Mental health and psychosocial support has not been, as in people's faces as it used to be. Now, whatever you say, it will be like we provide psychosocial support. It is a good thing. But while we're striving to get more people into this work, we need to also understand what providing psychosocial support means to our country. We need to understand that to do the job professionally or beautifully, we need to know what we are supposed to give out. We need to understand the little dynamics that we need to educate ourselves about. We need to understand that it is not just anything that you will pick on the street and go call yourself a social worker. We need education. How do we get that? We need the government to support. The government needs to try and incorporate this as much as possible. When I was coming in, I had Basamba touch on it, right? But I'm also calling onto the social workers to also push for these kind of things to be implemented. We need to understand that these policies are there. We have beautiful laws and policies. Implementation is a lot of the times our problems. Let us understand that this social work is something beneficial to the country. How do we incorporate it in every institution that we go to? We have social workers in the service, like the police officers, the soldiers. They do some kind of social work. How do we ensure that they understand the little nitty-gritties that are supposed to be done when helping patients? You know, if we're not careful the way we help patients, we re-traumatize them. Patients or, you know, clients we deal with, some of the times, a lot of the times, they are violated. They are not even themselves. You know, they are not the human beings they're supposed to be. So we need to support them. The way we approach that support is really important. And if you don't know the steps, the right steps to take to help them, you are going to make further damage to them. So that is why not everybody can be a qualified social worker. So to distinguish these things, we need to put qualifications. We need to make sure it starts from the grassroots. You know, people need to be educated, have degrees in these things. You know, okay, I respect the fact that it is kind of a new concept for people to provide certain services, but being new does not mean that, you know, we have to lag behind all the time. Let us do our best to make Gambia the best. We have a lot of young people out there. The high amount of sexual abuse in the country, domestic violence, in the homes, on the streets. You see people hitting each other all over the place. You have substance-induced psychosis, like people, you know, taking substances, you know, drugs, mentally ill. How do we support them? We see them on the streets and we are like, dafa dof. And that's what it is. We see somebody pregnant on the streets, dafa bir, it's fine, dafa yahoo. Did we even take a moment to think about the past? How we connect their past to their present? How do we support them? These are things that a qualified person, somebody who has, you know, been given the opportunity to do this, can kind of diagnose and relate. And while I am calling for social work to be integrated from an early stage, I'm equally asking for gender issues to be, you know, mainstreamed at every point, implementation, you know, preparatory, you know, steps. Gender issues, if we don't understand it, we wouldn't know how to help women, girls, and marginalized groups. We would not understand it. And as social workers, it is important that we understand every bit of those little things to ensure that we are helping the required people. Women and girls, a lot of the things that happen, yes, it happens to everybody, but sexual and gender-based violence, for example, it affects a lot of women more than men. Okay, the impact sometimes can be greater on men because, you know, a lot of the times men wouldn't even go out to talk about these issues, right? That does not mean that we would ignore them. However, it is important to be, you know, put on your gender lens, your gender hat, whatever you will call it, when we are trying to understand issues affecting us. If we don't understand why that Binta is not able to talk to us properly, then we wouldn't understand how to help Binta. If we don't understand how to approach Binta, which home to go to, what time to go and find Binta, we cannot help Binta. You know, if we are going to her house when she's supposed to cook or clean, we are not going to help them. If we are not going there or helping her get a transport refund, some women would not come to seek help if you don't have transport refund, for example. These are some little things that, you know, when we prioritize gender or incorporate gender, we don't understand or we kind of miss. So I'm calling on everybody to make these things our business. Yes, a lot of the times, you know, even me included, we would claim that the government should support us more. Yes, it is true. However, we also have social duties. Do you understand? We have social duties that we are, you know, we are supposed to be putting ourselves out there to support other marginalized people. It is our duty. Let us look after each other to ensure that the work of social workers is also on top. It is easier. It is something that is valuable. So I call on everybody here to clap for every social worker that is sitting here. To say a big thank you to you all. Thank you very much.
That is well deliberated. I think everybody had the director of Fantanka hitting very well what social work is all about, what social workers are doing in their various respective associations or actually workplaces. You know, we need to value what they do. You know, these are people who can be called upon odd hours, you know, to leave what they are doing just to go and save life, just to go and talk to somebody, comfort somebody, just to go and make sure someone, you know, who is a patient received, you know, a service. So this is something we need to actually give a big round of applause to social workers. He said they are strengthening and holding the very fabric of our society. Imagine without social workers, how would our families, social work start from family level, you know, family social work, families, if family is well united, you know, it's a very secure family, a protective family, the society, the community also have a stake. So it's a circle upon circle and circle upon circle. Every individual have a role to play, you know, at your family level, at your community level. More so the social workers in the Gambia and those working in different agencies. So we give them a round of applause. There are challenges, numerous, you know, that social workers are facing. And in this call for collaboration, she highlighted a lot on that. The government and other stakeholders, the UN agencies, we need to come and join hands together to make sure we move, you know, this to another level. You know, not losing sight of what she said, the qualification is very important because we are dealing with the lives of people that are traumatized, that are affected, to avoid secondary, you know, victimization or re-traumatization. You know, you need to know what you are doing. You know, it's just like you give your car to a car mechanic, thinking that he's a very good mechanic, he's going to work your car to perfection, and then that person go and give you, you know, make more damage on your car. It's just like social workers are, you entrust yourself to someone whom you think could help and work with you, you know, to have or address, you know, an issue or a problem confronting your life. If that person is not able to guide you well or put you in the right institution, because no single social workers can address all at the same time. We need to work as a network. You know, we refer, sometimes a particular case is beyond an individual. You make your trial, you forward to other agencies, other institutions, even with the lawmakers, even with the police. They are all very significant in this. So it calls for qualification. It calls for a shift from living where we are, thinking that the aspect of knowing, you know, some of the basics and even the principle, the values and ethics, because if not, you are not helping that individual, you are not helping that client you are working with or you are building a working relationship with. So the Gambia, as we are speaking, the program is almost at the level of diploma and certificate level. The university was trying to come up with another level, the BSc, but still things are at hold. So this Social Workers Association, we are making all moves. Hence, our president has made a very, you know, first first thing he did was to make sure we are connected to International Federation, which he made mention of. And now we are registered with IFSW as the youngest Gambia Association of Social Workers. We want to align ourselves with international standard. We don't want to lean back. We don't want to see that, what it takes, the gap. We need to build the gap, even in terms of having social work BScs and masters, because you need it. People need it. So this is all about us. And even moving to a level of where social workers can be launched into practice, because you are dealing with people's life. So it really matters. Thank you so much, madam, for that very important deliberation. 2008-9 and university 2010. So I think it's very important. I take this singular honor to invite Madam Fatou Jalo. She's around to come and give a statement.
Thank you very much, Lamin. Mr. MC. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Representatives from the Ministry of Gender, Children and Women's Affairs, Social Welfare, directors from the service sector, students, members of the Association of Social Workers in the Gambia. Good morning, and thank you for inviting me. I must congratulate Basamba and his team, really. This morning when I heard you speak, you say you have finally gained recognition from the International Federation of Social Workers, which is quite a remarkable achievement. So congratulations, keep it up, and I challenge you to do even more, right? Okay, it gives me great pleasure today to deliver a speech on the importance of social work education for national development. Hearing from the speakers, really, I think you have made my work today easier because you are living testimony of why it is important to get educated in social work profession. Prior to my joining SOS Children's Villages as a project coordinator at the Regional Mothers and Adult Training Center, I worked in medical research and business research. Little did I know about social work. I have to confess this. But over the years, I have come to love and appreciate the work that you do. Thank you very much. Social workers are professionals that are needed in every sector of society, from education to health, to research, to training, to construction, to entertainment. And I'll tell you why in a minute. So the SOS Children's Villages in the Gambia is the pioneer of the social work certificate and diploma program in the country. This was initiated in 2006. Some of you may already know. After a consultative and collaborative effort between the Department of Social Welfare then, now it is under the Ministry of Gender and Children's Affairs, between the University of the Gambia, and between UNICEF. So since inception in 2006, we have been able to graduate close to 500 students who have gone on to work in diverse fields in this country. In particular, I want to recognize the Ministry of Interior that houses all these service departments in the country. The Immigration, Customs and Excise, Fire and Rescue Services, Police. Really, it has meant a lot building the capacity of these professionals so that they go back to contribute directly to the socio-economic development of this country. Therefore, at SOS, we are continuously investing in the delivery of quality teaching and learning materials for our students in the social work program. We come up with innovative approaches. In essence, our effort is geared towards getting external recognition for social workers but also our SOS parents, who are core in the work that we do as the largest child care organization in the country. Because everyone knows that taking care of children is the most difficult job in the world. And you need someone who is very close-minded to a social worker, someone who is professionally trained like a social worker can handle that. Only someone who is close to the social worker can handle that. And we at SOS are cognizant of that fact. And that's why our social work training program is always being improved to deliver this quality care to the children and young people that we serve. Last week, the world celebrated International Women's Day 2022. On top of the agenda was the need to address climate change issues. I'm glad to see this theme up there, the Psychosocial world. Whenever you see echo, you have to think about the climate. This is because climate change, along with violence and conflict, are the topmost challenging social issues in our world today. These social issues are often major stressors that aggravate the vulnerability of women and children. UN figures indicate that 80% of people displaced by climate change are women. Their roles of providing food and fuel means flooding, droughts, extreme heat, etc. affect them intensely, along with their families and their dependents. Therefore, commensurate with this year's social work global theme, it is essential that social workers are educated with the right knowledge of climate issues and skill in assisting their families and other individuals to manage the consequences of climate change. So as social workers, I urge you to think outside of the box. Look beyond your common social problems, but take climate change to be very important in this day and age and your role as social workers. In the Gambia, the need for climate change adaptation projects cannot be overemphasized. We all know the fact that the Gambia is an economy that relies heavily on subsistence agriculture, right? However, with changing rainfall patterns, we have all witnessed this. There is little chance of growing crops essential for survival. This ultimately leads to increased poverty-stricken families that need support to overcome the mental health issues, environmental and economic effects of climate change. As our local theme calls for social inclusion, again, social workers are key players in humanizing climate change that intricately leads to social inequities. Social workers must educate and advocate for climate change in policy approaches, using their skills of social justice, crisis counseling, and community organization. Listening to Ms. Juve this morning, I was glad because I was like, in the Gambia, we have climate change, we have mental health, we have sexual and reproductive health. Listening to Ms. Jabate, sorry. So, social workers, I dare you to look in those areas. Think outside of the box. Get out from your comfort zone and tackle these issues. Ms. Juve has urged you. Mental health is something that is affecting our young people in this day and age. We cannot tell you how devastating the effect of mental health is at the moment. In the Gambia, xam nga rek ñun suñ jikko nit su dee génnut si biti rek di daw rek yarami neen rek ñu ne kii dofut. But believe it or not, we, most of us, are living with mentally ill patients at home. And they need help. The sooner they get it, the better. And you as social workers are equipped with the training. That's why training in social work is very important. because you're equipped with the skill and knowledge to be able to identify and recognize these issues, these problems, before they get too late. Mental health is a consequence of various social factors over the years that affects a person. Last year, I remember we did a light survey on those who have been affected by childhood trauma in our organization. And surprisingly, 1 out of 3 people have been affected by childhood trauma in their life, 1 or 2 forms of childhood trauma. We call it adverse childhood experiences, ACEs. And if we roll out that research to the wider Gambia population, Lord just knows what will happen, what we'll find, what will be the findings. So it is very important as social workers, you look beyond your normal day issues, but get to tackle the effects of mental health, the causes of mental health before it's too late. Issues like gender-based violence. We all know what happened last year or year before during the COVID lockdown and how the cases of gender-based violence were on the rise. That helpline that was launched by the Ministry of Gender, Children, and Social Welfare in partnership with UNFPA and Paradise Foundation. I was speaking to the coordinator of Paradise Foundation, and she told me what? Fatou, you know what? Between July and August of the lockdown and restrictions, we received over close to 1,000 calls of gender-based violence. So if this is not alarming for us, what is really? And these are factors that play a key role in those, I call them survivors, we call them survivors now. But it hammers them. It's something that they think about for the rest of their lives. When they're adults, these are traumatic experiences that they keep replaying in their minds that goes with them wherever they go. So it is important for them to get the support, the necessary psychosocial support and attention they need now for them to be able to thrive and be contributing members of society in future. So let's leave no one behind. As social workers, the profession expects practitioners to have a skill and mindset ready to tackle on the big social actions. With a formal training in social work, I am confident the Gambia will have an avalanche of well-qualified, competent social workers in future ready to take on action as an ethical prerogative to address these social issues. Currently, we're in consultation with various government departments. Basamba will tell you their requests when they sent me a letter asking for their social work qualification to be upgraded. I applauded that, I really did. And that's why we're in consultation with various government departments, the University of the Gambia, and other international universities. In the UK, because it's still in consultation, I cannot reveal them here, but we want to see how best to advance the social work training program into a fully fledged degree program so that you are able to come out and master the skills of social work and bring them to things like climate change, bring them onto things like mental health, bring them onto things like sexual and reproductive health. But until then, I urge you, those of you who have not done the certificate or diploma in social work yet, to enroll at our center in Bakote or Basse. We have a center in Basse, we have an annex, and maybe some of you know of it. It's being fully funded by SOS Children's Villages in the UK, but we're only targeting youth below the age of 35. So they don't have to pay any fees. They come and do the social work certificate program there, free of charge for 1 year. So if you know anyone who fits that criteria of vulnerability, of age, you can refer them to Basse, and within that geographic area, CRR, URR, they will be ready to accept them. after the due entrance procedure, of course. So, a social work education equips you to make a significant contribution to your organization and nationally as you seek to tackle the world's most critical social issues. You will be able to personally and professionally achieve that level of self-fulfillment for service to community and the societal ecosystem. For those of you who are here today, I must say we're reaching out to all our past students. We launched our Alumni Association last year during the graduation ceremony, and we're reaching out to all of you past students. If you please tell a friend to tell a friend. Come back to the Backwater Center. We're trying to reach you by phone as well. But please, this is easier for us. If you have WhatsApp group pages, please spread the word. Come back to us. We're trying to do a tracer study. But also, we want to register you to the Alumni Association. And then we want to join forces with the Social Work Association of the Gambia to do more, bigger and better things for the social work profession in the country. Finally, on behalf of SOS Children's Villages in the Gambia, Regional Mothers and Adult Training Center, I wish you all a happy Social Work Day and applaud your contribution to making this day a success. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you so much, Madam Coordinator. I think we've all heard from that statement of the SOS Regional Mothers Adult Training Social Work Program. Actually, they've been doing a lot, as she highlighted, from training, delivering quality training to social workers, which should be the bedrock or the foundation of whoever wants to practice social work. Without that requisite education, without that basis, meaning your practice, would not actually pay dividends to the life of the people that you are serving. As social workers, she highlighted a lot about some of the challenges that are still in existence, but there are a lot of collaborations, and then we wish and then we hope something is coming out. Hence, the partnership is, getting to different levels, and the need to strengthen such a partnership at other levels as well. So from what she delivered, actually the team is fitting, also reflecting the need of social workers even venturing into the issues of climate change. Maybe this is not a module that was introduced part of the social work program courses, but actually the world is moving into, and then social workers need to also galvanize and make advocacy to make sure that our environment is fit for purpose, and then the ramifications of climate change is also being mitigated on us. Because looking at climate change, we are not safe. Women and other people we are trying to protect, wouldn't be protected. So this is a global phenomenon, but every nation have a stake. I think it's good. Madam highlighted all that things, and then we as the Association of Social Workers, we are also doing that consultative approach. We are doing courtesy calls to all these training institutions to see how we can better position this association, and some of the graduates can come in and keep in and make sure that we move from this level, because it has been 13 years, like Basamba mentioned, we are struggling to register with IFS double. So thank God now that is a thing of the past, but we have laid our roadmap. We wouldn't want to relent from now. We want to move further, and whoever is with us, we need to push further, to make sure that all these challenges, we can turn them into opportunities, and tap other opportunities out from these things. So, Madam, I think your deliberation is well in depth, and then a lot has been said. I think now we are almost trying to round up with this event, trying to come up with the final touches now. I think we are trying to invite a student social worker to come forward, Augustina, to give a closing remark, and then thank the participant. And from there, we will have a photo session. I think we need that for our website and other platforms that we will share. So people from the high table, before we beg your indulgence before you leave after her speech, we have a photo session somewhere with the banner. Thank you so much.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. My fellow students, the social workers that are already on ground, our special and respectful invitees and special guests of honor, the media, in a very special way, on behalf of the students, of the social workers with the SOS, we are very grateful and we really appreciate your presence, honoring our invitation. One thing is to invite somebody, and another thing is to honor that. And for us, seeing all of you here is a very great joy in our hearts that you left everything you are doing to come and be with us. And in a very special way, I want to honor the Department of the Immigration Service, the representative. We so much appreciate your presence. The police, the defense, and the Ministry of Social Welfare, the media. We are so much grateful for your presence to be with us today. And as we are commemorating this day, we've heard a lot of talks from different speakers. I want you all to know that as the person who spoke, Rohi, who gave us the poem, the first thing she said is that a social worker is like a vocation. We see all the people who have spoke out of passion. And all of us who are here participating in this cause, we are all doing it out of passion. Because we want a social change. Because we want to better the life of every other person we know and those we don't even know. We don't want to leave anybody behind, as the team says. We don't want to leave anybody behind. We want to make sure that the society, especially the Gambia, is in a very good shape. That everyone, even a child, who may not be able to know where he or she is, we can be able to be part of that child's welfare and well-being and the very good development of that child. So we are so honored that you are here with us today. And please, for the next time, we will also be having this commemoration. We want to urge you that you always honor our invitation. And as you have heard many things spoken, we want you to also deliver it back to your different departments. And for other people who are here, who are not social workers, we want to encourage you to, relate what social work is all about to your different homes. Encourage your children, encourage your anybody, friends, so that they will know what it's all about. And we want to let you know that by the time social workers are coming to your different departments to do some projects, please, we pray that you welcome us. And we are trying to let you know that we are not stopping here. We are going to go all the way to make sure that social work is well known in the Gambia. So on behalf of my fellow students and those who are already graduated from social work, we want to appreciate your presence and we say thank you and God bless you.
We thank everybody.
like fire. Wow. Love, love like fire. Xam ngeen rek affaire bi xam ngeen fan la? Skincare la. 2020 lañ wax de. Waaw. Fii nag mooy Kerr fan Kerr zero tache. Perfect skin. Skincare saa su ne rek niñ ko dee defee rek. Loo lañ soxlaati rek. Maanaam bu ngeen am problème ci seen skin yéen xam ngeen fan la. Fii ngeen di ñëw. Suma xarit yeeg am di jàmm yi nga xam ne taas daf lañ sonaloon xam nga doon xeesal bel la ka xum éneew ma lañ ko nag waaye just in case comme ni ko gars yi di waxee rek en cas just in case loolu xew xam ngeen fi ngeen di ñëw skincare plus si yu baax rek la ñoo dox nag ay baax rek fu ne la ñoo dem ci réew mi di lañ indi rek nag products yu baax du Paris du Italie du USA du fi mu nekk nii sax boole nañ ci nag Sweden fu nekk lañ leen a indilee products bu dee tamit nag da nga ñuul rek ñu lay jamaa natural beauty that melanin dripping we do have stuff for you as well emuñ si skincare products rek ñu ngi ci cuub yi tamit fu ne la ñoo jaar in fact sax last commercial bi ñu defoon waxuñ leen woon ne dañoo dox ci ay kawar 9A grade rek nag waaw we do have bundles as well hair si lu ne la ñoo dox ñun ñu ngi ci rafetal jigéen rek luy taaral jigéen rek waaw boo leen di tukki tamit bëggoon that classic suitcase ñu dañoo dox ci ay Samsonite duñ dee indi any brand of suitcases though other than Samsonite comme li ma dee wax rek boo eggee airport dëri Samsonite dafa am nuñ laa xoolee waaw ngeen ne lan nag waaw skin ci moom la ñu gën a xamee nag skincare products ci moom la ñu gën a xamee ñu ngi dox tamit bentey tamit si ay dàlla waaye man nag skincare mooy suma specialty xam nga rek jigéen bu sa xar kanam réglé loo def mu jag am nañ Patricia Reiner, Kiwi Eye, the whole range, Lighten Up Gold, Tomatine. I mean, the list can just go on and on and on and on. Lépp loo xam ne rek luy taaral jigéen la ci yooyu rek la ñoo dox. Skincare plus nag emuñ si Gambia rek ñu ngi United States ñu ngi Gambia fii ba pare bu dee yaa ngi anywhere in Europe mun nañ la ko mail within 3 days rek ñetti fan rek nga jot say diw emuñ si loolu rek dañ laa consult tamit balaa ñu laa jaay diw dinañ def a free consultation pour wax la rek exactly li nga xam ne moo méngoo ak sa kanam dinañ leen wax tamit ne rek am nañ perfumes fragrances men's shirts accessories we do dresses as well we do blouses I mean we do shoes name it we do them Skincare Plus 2020 is our year of perfection zero task fi mu nekk nii réew mi fii kenn waratu fi taas kenn waratu fi am problème kanam kenn waratu fi am problème yu picca boo ko amee dafa fekk ne rek ñëwuloo ci place bi fii. Love, love, love like fire. Bring my love, 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 love like fire.
I get it.
Mbijan aganya.
Albaka.
Mbaka important.
Yo, nga transfer la sto.
Ya transfer la sto.
Ha, code nyinji.
Okay. Korsan. Nsila ID soto.
Sa soto. Sorry. I get it.
Mbijan bro.
Albaka.
Mbaka.
Bara alla service o tariaka.
Mbale.
Mo ki janna nun kunu bara tariaka.
Jannom yona forest de bureau. Gambia tonkon na no mbali ya bere. Birin koyna fo katon
bari si kodo kino katon nim fo bolong labe
56 branches mola sota Gambia jang
ha
Gambia kono ani Gambia bantala bankol nko kodo kiya bele kodo sifa fo falindiro fo nyaadi lafta memmen na kodi to poto nim kodi maraw jannam number 1 di nyonta andum fana nata anoda enterprise sotale wolam nyindi ko domorol fana kol fana be firale de dadi ma ni domorol ni fana be teat Gambia dawda yalo ngam fa kendol sotale je
wo moyo diat
apelenta
ni wo ka ni lafta nyelen kendol e binaji
yalo bu kanila ko la baraka ba
yalo ndel ciosano lo
baraka
We live in a day and age where technology is creating a world without borders, filled with unlimited potential to improve the lives of the people around us. Innovarex Global Health ushers in a new way of leveling the playing field with increased access to quality healthcare services delivered at your doorstep. Our qualified professionals are equipped with state-of-the-art point-of-care testing technology to conduct tests such as kidney function, liver function, electrolyte tests, body composition, hemoglobin, A1C, and many more services with the highest efficiency in delivering results. The addition to our flagship, Wellness on Wheels, more fondly known as WOW Delivery Service, brings the entire clinical experience full circle. IGH has remained committed to creating the future of healthcare delivery. Gone are the days of sending loved ones outside the country for basic medical services. Innovarex Global Health offers a new peace of mind and takes pride in delivering the quality of care we all deserve.